Welcome to Rack Week number 210. I'm sorry that I am late this week. I had intended on publishing this video in time on Sunday, but then I went to a tournament up in Phoenix, a 2-day tournament. Took fourth place. I lost my first round match, and then I won 8 matches in a row. So I was way too tired Saturday night to try and put this together. Ironically, what I learned going through the losers bracket in that tournament is related directly to what I was going to talk about in this Rack of the Week video anyway. So that's really kind of fortuitous that that happened. And I've talked in previous videos, Rack of the Week videos, about fortitude. I've used the word fortitude, and it relates to what I call the control paradox. I'm putting together my thoughts, and I'm going to talk more about that in my blog. My supporters on Patreon and YouTube at the $7 a month level are going to get more of an earful of that as I think about, process my thoughts and type that out. Before we get into the rack real quickly, I want to thank everybody who's been ordering the bridge mates. It's been overwhelming. I'm getting my third resupply shipment in this week. I've gotten lots of orders shipped out. There's just a few stragglers. So if you've got an order that hasn't shipped yet, it'll go this week, and then hopefully I'll be all stocked up, and any orders that come in will be able to ship the same day. And some people have been leaving reviews on my website, shortstoponpool.com. Thank you for that also. Okay, let's get into this rack. Fortitude is the mental part of your game that allows you to keep approaching all of your shots with a positive attitude, a can-do type of attitude. So here we saw, a typical type of break shot where I shot with below center, sending the cue ball to the side rail and back. And in this case, it caromed off a ball down below, and I don't have any balls here. That ball fell out of my ball track and is rolled under the table, so I'm going and getting it. So I've got a tough shot to start, and that can take a little bit of fortitude. You can say, geez, why don't I have an easier shot to start the rack? I've got a shot on the 9 ball on the side. I don't quite have enough room to pocket this ball in the corner, but I can make the combination. So I've declared the 7 ball on the side. That's an easy enough combination. I don't have a great break ball on either side of the rack or key balls into the side pocket. I do have a couple of balls here. The 2 or the 11, I'm thinking, could become a break ball for the rack. So that's a good possibility. And then the balls in the rack area aren't tied up tight, so I don't need to re-break. Got 2 balls up table, and this combination is going to lend itself well to getting at those balls. I'm just going to let the cue ball go this way. I'd like to come, as long as I come past the 5, I'm going to have a shot on this 10. So I'm going to clear the 10-5, and then figure out how to run the rest of the balls and get on a break shot. That's the plan. This isn't ideal, but we're applying a little bit of fortitude. Now, things don't always go right. I didn't make a plan for that. What is that? The 12 ball that I shot. And so instead of the 12 ball stopping here or somewhere else predetermined, it's tied up my shot on the 10 ball. So here's where a little bit of that fortitude comes in. One of the things that really came to mind that I was reminded of when I was playing through that losers bracket in the tournament. You're going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Things aren't going to go the way you want. You need to find a way to get out anyway. And it reminded me of a lesson that I learned many, many years ago. A real simple thing. I think I'll make a meme about this. And it's a really simple concept. As amateurs, we're trying to figure out how to get better and maybe play like a pro sometime. What's the difference between amateurs and pros? One way to characterize it is this. Pros run out every single rack that they're supposed to, and some of the racks that they're not supposed to. That's what makes a pro. And that applies to straight pool, 8 ball, 9 ball, 10 ball, all games. How do they do that? They do that by working on their fundamentals so that every shot that's makeable for them, they make. They don't miss. That's how you run out every rack that you're supposed to. But it's not just pocketing the ball, it's position as well. So every time that you have a difficult position, I'll try to talk about that in more depth to my Patreons and my supporters on YouTube. So here, the 12 ball didn't go where I wanted. So now what am I going to do? Well, I can accept the outcome, which is shooting this combination. It's not all that hard of a combination, but it wasn't according to my plan. But I'm going to need to do that if I want to clear this rack that I'm supposed to clear. But I look at my options because I don't have to do that. Now, obviously, I'm disappointed with myself, but I can also shoot something else and come back later, clear these up table balls later, and get a shot on the 10 from over here and not have to shoot that combination. So I have to evaluate combination now or long shot now. And I have 3 long shots. I got the 15, the 14, or the 1. So I'm initially thinking about the 15 and punch the cue ball out, but when you're shooting a long shot hard, you can rattle the ball. I'm like, no, okay. So I decide to shoot the 1 ball, and I've got to draw the cue ball back a little bit for the 6, or maybe slide over for the 6. So I get that. So I'm committing to a less than optimal plan. I didn't want the 12 ball to go here. If the 12 ball stopped here, I'd be shooting the 10, and we would have a run out that's much more under what? Under control. But control is an illusion. It's a paradox. We need to get there no matter what. Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what fortitude is. So now I've looked at I'm looking at my options down here. Obviously, the easy shot is the 6, and it's a good shot because it's a blocker ball. It blocks the 2. So it's whether I use the 2 ball as a break shot or not, I'm going to need the 6 ball gone for that reason. But I've got a shot on the 11 on this 13 in the side pocket right now. And the position's not hard. I can just follow forward and have a shot on either of these balls or either of these balls back this way. So for that reason, the 13 ball's a better shot. I don't want to shoot it because it's a harder shot. It's a missable shot. The 6 balls, I'm going to need to use a bridge, okay? But the 6 ball's not missable. I'm just going to make the 6. But where am I going to send the cue ball after shooting the 6? Can I call the cue ball this way or try and bring the cue ball back here and get positioned on the 13 again through this window? And I decided to myself, no, I have that position now, and strategically, that's a better shot. It's going to be a piece of cake to get positioned on the 6 ball later, so I don't have to shoot it now. This is part of the control paradox decision, choosing a more difficult shot rather than the easier shot. But accepting it and saying, yeah, it's a little bit more difficult, but it's within the realm of my skills. And so therefore, I'm going to make it. Now, I might miss, but I'm going to exercise my skill to the best of my abilities and accept all outcomes. So let's just bear down and make the ball. But it's a control paradox that you've got to do. This is how shooting straight pool is going to help your 8 ball, 9 ball, 10 games. 10 ball games, because that's what you need to do to clear the rack every time that you should and some of the times that you shouldn't. So I've got an easy shot on the 15 ball right now. But once again, what's my break ball? And I'm deciding that I want to shoot the 9, even though I have a bit more of a cut angle than I would like. I can use a little bit of inside English and get the cue ball to go through the 9 ball more and tap this 4 ball over for a break shot, for a better break shot. And that would be a better break shot than either the 11 or the 2. And I'm not quite sure about the cue ball, but I know I might have a shot on the 3 ball back on the side, or the 14 ball this way, or maybe the 11 ball up here. And so, once again, rather than shooting the easiest shot, which would be the 15, I'm shooting a shot that's more strategically advantageous to clearing the rack and accepting all outcomes of position. I've got a shot on the 14 ball right now. I've also got a shot on the 4 ball. You saw me glance up table because I know that problem still exists. But I've decided in my mind that whether I get through this rack or not is irrelevant. I'm going to apply my fortitude and my skills to the best of my ability on each shot. And that's what's going to give me the best chance of getting through this rack. So I want to get up table. Eventually, I want to get up table on this 10 ball. So I'm either going to shoot a shot that gets me there. For example, I could shoot the 14 ball right now and try and do this with the cue ball. I don't choose that, but I'm just saying that is a possibility to get there. But on that glance up table, I realized I have the 5 ball. And some angle on the 5 like this is going to be a better way to get the cue ball over there for the 10. So I made that decision. I also decide that the 4-ball has ended up a little bit too low, so I don't want to use it for a break shot. So I'm going to use the 4-ball to get on the 6. At least if I remember this rack correctly, I think that's what I decide. So rather than shooting the 14, I'm going to go ahead and go 4-6 right now. So let's just get a little bit of an angle on the 6, like that. Okay. So now before I shoot the 6, I'm looking at it and making sure, is that exactly what I want to do? Because I don't have enough, I looked at it real quick, I don't have enough angle to shoot the 11 and slide up here for the 10. I don't remember exactly. Oh, I'm just coming across table. Yeah, okay. So shoot the 2-ball, I mean the 6-ball, that because I need to clear that to make a pocket open for the 2. So notice what I've done. I now have 2 balls available. I have 2 balls available for a break shot. Similar to last rack, I'm preserving the useful balls and shooting the junk balls. That's what I talked about last week or the week before on a rack of the week. So I don't have an angle to get up table, but I can bring the cue ball up here, and I'm either going to have a shot on the 14 or the 3-ball in some fashion to come up and get that position that I mentioned earlier on the 5. So let's get the cue ball up there. Looks to me like I might have been trying to come across to give myself this angle on the 14 that I just mentioned, but I don't have it. I have a much better angle on the 3, so I'm going to try and go up here. Now, I just made a mistake. Did you notice what I did? And I'm working on this. I mentioned this a couple of rack of the weeks ago too. The same mistake I made on the opening shot of the rack. When I shot that combination on the 7 and the side, I needed to walk over here and look. Where do I want the 12 ball to go after it pockets the 7? It's a small decision, and the cue ball is going to go over here where it did, regardless. But I didn't make that decision. Here, I'm going to come over here and get this angle on the 5 ball right now. But before I do that, I need to walk over here and look. And that fixes in your mind that speed control. Believe it or not, it informs your subconscious what you need to do. Didn't do that. I just bent over on the 3 and shot, and because of that, I didn't get the right angle. I got the wrong angle to easily hold the cue ball here. Now, I'm a little bit upset with myself on that, but I could still shoot the 4 ball and just let the cue ball, or the 5 ball, let the cue ball go here and try and play good position. I could also try and use a lot of outside English and just draw it sharply to the rail and get that position. But I could have gotten better position on the 5 ball right now had I walked over and taken a look. So, okay, let's keep that fortitude and see if we can get there. So I decide to use the 11 ball for a break shot because I can use the 2 ball to get there. But I didn't walk over and look once again. This is the angle I wanted. I got this angle on the 3, on the 5 off from the 3. Now off from the 2, I've got this angle. Both of them are the wrong angle because I didn't take the time to go look. Regardless, I'm accepting all outcomes. It's a control paradox. If I want to control the cue ball to get this angle on the 5, but I didn't. The more times you can get that control, the more often you're going to run out the racks you should and some of the ones that you shouldn't. But even when you don't get the position you want, you've got to accept that you're not always going to have perfect control and you need to get there anyway. And so that's what I'm doing right now. This is not the ideal shot. I've got a very slight angle and I need to stun the cue ball over here. I'm not allowing there to be a moment's trepidation of, am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to get the cue ball there? I'm just saying, yeah, I'm going to do it, even though it's not optimal. Let's get there. And I hit the shot perfectly. That's the control paradox. That's what top players make the really difficult shots look easy because they just accept it and they just make the picture in their mind and then execute and make that picture happen. That's the control paradox. Now, I made the same mistake, and I'm going to work hard on this. Because off from this ball, I need the cue ball to come this direction so that I have this angle on the 14 to come around like that. That's the correct way to use this key as a key ball for your break shot. That's what I was trying to do. And had I walked over and looked at that angle and maybe even pointed and put my pointed my Q-tip on the table here, I might have accomplished that, but I didn't do it. So there's 3 times in this rack that I should have done that. So that's a lesson for me as I begin to practice straight pool more earnestly this week. But once again, I didn't get the cue ball where I wanted. I'm not taking any time to fret over that and be negative. I didn't get the cue ball where I wanted, but I can draw the cue ball back here and get on my break shot. I know I don't want a sharp angle. I don't want to be back here because then I'm not going to be able to hit the rack. I'm going to hit the rack too thinly and not get it open. So I want a shallow angle on this break shot. I should go look. I should walk around and look at that angle, but I didn't. I just bent over, but I'm just applying my fortitude to the situation and saying, yeah, I'm going to get there anyway. And I did. I've got a slight angle, maybe just a little bit shallower than I wanted, but I got the angle I need to stun the cue ball off from the top of the rack to the side rail and maybe back a little bit. And I'm not trying to blast the rack because I don't have enough angle to do that. I'm not going to get a lot of power into the rack. So just control the cue ball, get a few balls loose, and see what we can do from there. Ooh, yeah, I didn't even have enough angle to get the cue ball to the rail. So just got a few balls loose. And believe it or not, even though I've got a real big cluster and it's a re-break situation, I've got an ideal re-break situation here because I can shoot the 7, float the cue ball down here. I want the cue ball right on the rail because then I've got a low angle on this one that I can force follow right into the rack. I could also play a stop shot and cut the 13 past the 5, but I don't think I have more than half of a pocket. So for that reason, I choose not to do that. Freeze the cue ball to the rail as best I can. Now I've got the low angle to go into the bottom of the rack and open this rack and keep the run continuing. So that's just a taste of the control paradox. I've got to coalesce my thoughts even more. As I said, I'm going to write about it in my blog, on my Patreon, and for my YouTube supporters. But that'll probably turn into a video sometime in the future. Right now, I'm working on the video about how to practice, and that's, believe it or not, making progress on that. Try and get that done this week. I've got my bridgemate orders caught up, so I think I can get to that. And then the next video after the how to practice video is going to be about the grip and go into much more detail about the grip and the wrist position and how that all helps us make a straight stroke. And then maybe the control paradox will be a video after that. But anyway, I hope you got a lot out of this. This video was late, but I hope it was worth it. If you think it was worth it, let me know in the comments. Let me know how I'm doing. And thank you for watching. If you're going to play straight pool, play it straight. And we'll see you next week on Rack of the Week. It's going to be about a game of one pocket and an incredible run out that happened recently. Some of you who have been following the one pocket recently might know which rack and player I'm going to talk about, but you'll have to wait till next week on the Rack Week to find out. Thanks for watching. Bye.